What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing? Welcome to JRICHFITS Lifestyle and Health Coaching Corner. We're on episode 23. Today's topic is controlling chaos versus being a control freak. So we're going to dive into that right off the bat. What's control chaos? It's when things appear to be disorganized slash crazy, but you yourself are calm at all times. It is, in my opinion, the best life trait that you can possibly have. Life is crazy, relationships, being a parent, going to work, all these things are very hectic and very wild at all times. And the best thing that you could do is control that chaos as much as you possibly can. Why is it a great trait to have in your household? So first of all, the reason why I think it's a great trait to have in your household is, like I was saying, kids are unruly and wild. Your spouse or whoever you're with at the time could be on a different page besides your immediate, your outside family, sisters, brothers, parents. Everybody's kind of got their own stuff going on. At any given moment, it can get crazy and wild. And if you fall into the trap of being overwhelmed by that, then it's gonna fuck your whole day up. You need to be almost like I tell people all the time, be like a duck in water, where beneath the surface, those legs are kicking, but nobody sees that. But when you dive into that water, you come back out of that water, all the water just slides off of your body instead of it sticking to you and getting it wet and dragging it down. So in the household, you have to be the rock, the centerpiece that controls the boat or the car and the destination in which you guys decide to go. And it's extremely important to have control chaos. Kids are amazing, love them, but they are motherfuckers. You look one way, they're jumping off the couch, fucking about to face plant onto the floor. They got a fork, they're about to put it in the socket. They will stress the shit out of you. I have no children right now, but I have two nieces and one nephew. I had to babysit all three of them when I was growing up. It wakes you up to what a parent has to go through every single day. And thank God that I got none of this, because if I did, it'd fall out by the time I had kids. Because kids will stress you out. But you also have to realize they're children. You should never allow a child to get all the way under your skin. They can play on the surface of your skin, but you shouldn't allow them to get all the way deep tucked into your skin to the point where you're going to lash out and either smack them or yell or something like that. You are the controller of the ship. You should be able to figure out how to calm the child down and make them do what you need to do. And people that do this really well know how to control the chaos. And that's what I need you to do. When you're in those types of situations, take a big deep breath, count to 10, count to 5, whatever you need to do, and then figure out a smart solution to control that chaos. Relationships, same thing. You guys could be on a different page. It could be time of the month. It could be stress at work. It could be stress with outside family, like I said, parents, siblings. And that can come into your relationship. And if you don't know how to handle it correctly, then your relationship will be short-lived. You need to, in the control chaos sense, tackle everything head on. Any problem, any issue that you guys are having, you should be able to speak on it right away and try to figure out a solution. Because in most relationships, it's just you're pouring in more concrete and you're getting stuck and you're getting weighed down. The thing that you're supposed to be doing is find out solutions, figure out how we can step forward, how we can get better at this. And like I said, people that know how to control the chaos can weave through all the bullshit and figure out the solution to step forward and make you guys better. So that's a huge thing when it comes to that. And then, like I said, outside family. When you're talking about parents and siblings, you guys have known each other forever, your whole life. And this one can be hard at times because since you guys do know each other so well, you don't see eye to eye, or everything's coming at you. Divorce ends up happening with parents, or siblings have their issues and you just need to be there for them. Same exact thing. You have to be a solid rock and you need to be able to control all of the chaos throughout that. So in the household, that's huge. At work, at work, you're dealing with people coming in with their own bullshit happening in life, and they'll bring all that shit to work while you're trying to get these plans executed and get work done. Everybody is different. The best way to control chaos is to understand what section is the craziest. If there's chaos going on, there's a tornado over here, there's lightning over here, there's a building that's about to fall over here. Okay, which one is the worst one? And let's figure out how to negate me dying or getting hurt within this mess. But if you go and you just run in circles and you just hope one of them doesn't hit you, the likelihood of you dying is really big. You have to have a strategic plan to navigate through all the bullshit and get to a safer space. In work, that's huge because there's so many people that are either slow workers and aren't getting shit done, sabotagers that actually just want to see you fail, or people that want to steal your work and step ahead of you to get that promotion or that job that you're looking for. And then besides your coworkers, your bosses too. Not every boss, not every manager is a leader. And some of them shouldn't be in those positions. The main reason why they get in those positions is because they steal work or they step on somebody's shoulders to see over the mountain. And they aren't really the best people to be leading. You might be the best person, but with that being said, you just individually figure out each and every person, what they're good at, what they're not good at, try to get it all to work together, and that's how you control the chaos. If you think you're going to go into it treating every single person the same and doing everything by the book, this shit doesn't work. You need to be able to flip everything and control that chaos and get things to work. And if you do that, two things will end up happening. A, you earn the respect of everybody and you have an ally for life. Or B, the work that you put in will be recognized and then you'll get those promotions and you'll be the new lead and then you'll teach people how to lead your way and then you'll be successful. Your company will be successful. You'll make more money. Your company will see that and you'll grow, all that great thing, all that great stuff. And then the last one, in everyday life, household, work, they're controlled to a degree. Everyday life is not. It's the wild out there. And crazy stuff can happen at any moment. And if you're somebody that believes that that's not true, you're fucking fooling yourself because a light pole could fall down. Somebody can have a heart attack while they're driving and swerve and hit you. There's so many great variables, but there's so many horrible variables too at the same time that you need to be aware of and always pay attention to them. And if you're somebody that pays attention to them, you understand control chaos and you understand that the only thing I can control is me. Within the control chaos theory, you are the control. The chaos is everything else around you. And it's up to you to acknowledge it and notice it, grab onto it, and manipulate it to where it works for you. So that's the big thing with the control chaos. And life is like that. Go into life always thinking the best, but knowing the worst can possibly happen. You want to go in with a great mindset. You want to smile. You want to enjoy life. But just know at any given moment, the worst can happen, and you need to be ready for that. So in life, control chaos is huge. Make sure that you drive that into your brain. Control chaos is huge. Pay attention to everything. Don't be lackadaisical when you're walking around or you're with your child or if you're with your loved ones. Pay attention, and I think you'll have a great time in life. So in my opinion, I'm a control chaos guy. I believe most people should start kind of developing that. It's hard to develop. I think some people naturally have it and some people don't. And it's very hard to develop. But if you can, my best advice is work on it. Try it out. What types of people control chaos? So I'm going to give you a little bit of a breakdown of people that I noticed that are great at controlling chaos. Leaders. If you look at great leaders throughout time when it comes to generals and athletes and presidents and parents. So there's some great leaders in that sense too. Uh, People want to look to somebody, and it's not easy to be the person that everybody's looking at. It's a heavy weight to hold. But there's some people out there, like I said, naturally have it, and they embrace it and they use it to lead the masses. And great leaders know how to control chaos. When you have a great boss, a great teacher, a great coach, those are great leaders. It's not you just sign something. Hey, I'm gonna be a coach, I'm automatically a great leader. Hey, I'm gonna be a teacher, I'm gonna automatically be a great leader. It's not like that. We've all had shitty ones and we all had good ones. The good ones naturally have it, they hone it in, they develop it. And I think leading is not easy, and everybody thinks they can do it until it's time to do it. So great leaders are a good example of controlled chaos. And like I said earlier, good parents. It's not easy to be a good parent. It's so easy to slap the shit out your kid when they accidentally take 2 steps too far away from you, you slap them. Or it's so easy to yell, and it's so easy to default into these, I don't want to say barbaric, because sometimes they need a little slapping, but simple things. I think it takes a lot more to explain, and it takes a lot more to educate your children, and it's a lot more effort that goes into it. But like I said, your child is chaos. They don't know any better. You do know better, and it's up to you to teach them the control. They are the chaos, you're the control. Now you're teaching control, but you're doing it in an educational thought process so you create a better human being. Slapping and yelling without talking first is a horrible decision, because now you're just going to implement fear, and they're not going to know why. And I think the why behind everything is so much better. If you do tell them why enough times and they're just not doing it, they want to be a little smart ass, then a nice little slap on the face or a little slap on the ass will drive the message home. But make sure you deliver the message first before you deliver the slap. I don't like slap then message, because your kid's not listening, he's just fucking crying. So lock that one in. Good parents are extremely good at control chaos. And then overall successful people in work, in life, all that good stuff, control chaos extremely well. They understand that things are not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. There's going to be some rainy days with some lightning. And if you can convince everybody things will be okay and the sun will come out again, then you're amazing at control chaos, and you'll be successful, because life is wild. And if you can manipulate it to the way that you need it to be manipulated, you'll be very successful, you'll make money, you'll have love, you'll have everything that you need that's good. And those are the three that I thought were the best at control chaos. What's a control freak? Now let's kind of break down the definition of a control freak. It's someone who feels an obsessive need to control others and take command of all situations. There's so many horrible words in there. Obsessive is one that you should never be obsessed with anything, especially control, because that means that you don't naturally have it and you need to pull it to get it. And then the other one is all situations. You cannot control all situations. If you think you can control all situations, you're going to die extremely early because of stress. There's things out there that you cannot control, that you shouldn't want to control, that you should allow to happen just naturally. So obsessive and all situations, those are extremely dramatic words in the definition. And I just don't like people like this. Why is this a horrible trait to have, in your household? If I'm trying to control people, the only person that you can control is yourself. That's the only person on this planet you have any control over. If I'm trying to control my spouse, my children, my brothers and sisters, my parents, you're going to get a negative pushback. And that's what ends up happening. Why divorces happen. One or the other is trying to control too much. Why your children get into drugs, into prostitution, into stripping, into running away. is because you are trying to control their narrative. They're in control of what they want to do. You can guide them, but they are inevitably in control. And if you are somebody that's trying to control them, you'll get a huge push. Reason why siblings and parents drift further and further away is because everybody develops their own opinion and they try to put it on each other, and then that pushes you away. So control in the household is horrible. I just think that there's better ways of going about it. Having an open dialogue, having an open circle, not having such an ego. I should have a 5-year-old daughter or son and be able to sit down with them and be like, listen, babe, break down to me what's going on. Where am I wrong? Where are you right? Where are you wrong? Where am I right? Let's figure out a happy medium. If you have too much of an ego to have that conversation with your child, your offspring, then you should not have kids. And I think that control freaks just like to bark orders because they're really not in control of anything, and they know that they're not in control, so their idea is to bark and be loud, and nobody respects that. So in the household, that's horrible to be. Where else is it horrible to be a control freak? Work is the worst. Nothing will get done if you're a control freak at work, especially if you're somebody that's in the power position and you're a control freak, because you won't value anybody's idea, you won't value anybody's expertise, you don't respect anybody there. They are just somebody that you tell them something to do, they go do it, and then you smile because you feel powerful now. I told him or her what to do. They did it because I said so, and if it does great, it's because I said so. If it doesn't do great, who gives a fuck? Hide it under the table or put it under the rug or blame them, and then we'll just keep moving. Shitty businesses are based off of this model. I know some shitty businesses that are based off this model right now. And if you know me, you know exactly what shitty businesses I'm talking about and what shitty people run those businesses. And it's just horrible to have. Why would you hire people that have a thought process, that have expertise, and then not use it, thinking somehow that you're better than them, or thinking somehow you're, because of your money or your infrastructure, that you have power over them. My favorite line in Batman Rises is when Bane and the millionaire mogul that's trying to take down Bruce Wayne are sitting there talking, and the guy looks at him and goes, I paid you a small fortune. I'm supposed to get what I need to get. Like, how are you doing this? And Bane just puts his hand on that shoulder and goes, you feel in charge? And then when he says that, he snuffs him out. Because it's like, how stupid can you possibly be to think because you give somebody money, you give somebody infrastructure, but you don't give them respect, that they won't just snuff your ass out one day off of the bullshit that you pull or the bullshit that you talk. So in the workspace, never a good thing to be control freak, and nobody will respect you for it. And then in everyday life, you cannot control this. This is the wild out here. There's no control at all. You're just a part of it, and what you control is you and what you decide to implement and what your narrative is. But you can't control outside. And the second that you do, and I see people like this all the time, the second that you do this, it comes and bites you in the ass. Perfect example is I was driving in my car one day, and right away I noticed that this guy was cutting people off, and he wasn't signaling, and it was only a 2-lane street, and I kind of got to the side of him, and for some reason he went to go cut me off. So then when he cut me off, we went to the light, and I look over, not to go against my own people out here, but we were in a richer city, and it was a portly, old, rich white man in his Audi, and just very privileged and had that look on his face. And I came from more blue collar, so I hated people from the city, and I didn't like rich people, so he was a perfect target for me. I tell him off, he's talking shit back. He didn't realize how real my thought process is. So the light turns green, we're driving again. He somehow cuts me off, gets behind me, but I see him reach for his coffee. So when I get to the side of him, I knew he was going to throw it. So right when he throws it, I hit the brakes. Misses the whole coffee. We drive. I'm laughing. But at the same time, a switch went off in my brain where it's like, he's so used to doing that. He does that to too many people. Besides me, who should have intimidated him, he was way older than I was, he's going to do that to a young kid driving. He's going to do that to a mom driving. He's going to do that to an older person driving. So what I need to do is dead this right now, because this guy's a control freak. He thinks he controls the narrative of life, and there is no control in the narrative of life. So my next move in my brain was to jump out the car, take my shirt off, and wrap it around my hand and punch through his window. So he's a couple cars in front of me, red light, jump out the car, take the shirt off, wrap it around my hand, and right before I punch, I look over, and there's so many people looking at me where I'm like, oh shit, you're gonna get the cops calling you for sure. So right before I punch, I pull back. His face was ghost white and looked like he was gonna shit his pants. He had to be bigger than me, was gonna shit his pants. I told him, I said, you're lucky I don't punch through this fucking window, but if you get out that car right now, I'm gonna fuck you up. He hits the gas so fucking hard, million miles an hour. Now here's the funny part behind the whole story. I worked at a company that was a fitness company. Neither of us knew that he was a member there and I was an instructor there. I see him, he sees me, and he's shitting his pants again. I run right up to him, told him straight up. I said, hey, listen, you're extremely lucky. And I said, and I know you'll never throw a coffee out of a car ever again. And I said, and if I ever hear you do throw a fucking coffee cup out of a car and it hits a kid, a wife, an elderly person, I'm going to fuck you up. He didn't say shit, got hella scared, I just walked away. But it's like life is like that. You think that you're in control, but you're not in control. Only thing you're in control of is your actions. And if you have shitty actions, shitty reactions will end up happening to you. So pay attention to all that type of shit. And don't be a fucking dumb control freak. What types of people are control freaks? Extremely insecure. They don't have confidence. They don't love life. There's a lot of hate in their system. They're very power driven. They didn't naturally have the skills and the natural je ne sais quoi. They just had the bullshit, and now this is their opportunity because they have money and infrastructure, and a lot of people in life value that so heavy that they'll let you talk to them any certain way or let them do certain things, and that's not the way to be. They're very unconfident. They didn't grow up with confidence. They weren't that dude, that woman that was great at sports or extremely educated and smart that knew how to put it all together. They could be smart and educated and stuff like that, but they're hermits and they don't know how to put it together. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to just have that natural thing about them. Once again, I was working with this guy and he didn't know how to talk. He didn't know how to express himself, and nobody knew who the fuck he was, even though he had all this money and infrastructure. And he fronted like it didn't bother him, but you could tell it bothered him all the time that people didn't know who he was and he didn't get the respect that he want. But the main reason he didn't get it is because he didn't put it out there. You get what you give, and if you're not putting that shit out there, you're not gonna get it. But I could tell it really pissed him off. I had none of the money, I had none of the infrastructure, but when people would come by, I had personality. People like being around me. People like talking with me. Friends of his would see me and give me big hugs, and I only met them 1 or 2 times because it's the imprint that you put on somebody, and it's what they like that you give and what you like that they give back. And you can tell it just pissed him off all the time, but he was just too cowardly and too quiet to say anything out loud. And people like that, they're control freaks. They want to control how people feel and how people view them, and you can't do that. You can just be yourself. And like I said, just never that dude, never that woman. They want to be something different, but they don't know how to be something different. And that's the biggest issue right there. And with that being said, that's enough about that rant and rave. My final thoughts go down like this. You control you. Don't waste time. Don't worry about outside things. Don't control anything. Just know that like life is going to move with or without you. So you need to make sure that you're taking the necessary steps to go forward. and you're enjoying it along the way, and you're going in with control chaos, and you're teaching people how to be this way. Because the more people that know control chaos, and the more people that can move calmly through a fucking dust storm and through lightning and through hurricanes, the more successful you'll be, and the safer people will be around you. If you're somebody that's a control freak that thinks that you got it like that and nothing can touch you, you will be touched in a horrible way. You'll have a major illness. Somebody will beat your ass, or even worse. And I don't want that on you. So you need to check yourself and realize that that's not the way to be, and you won't be successful. You'll notice everything around you fails. You'll notice everybody around you pushes you away, or they push themselves away, and you're lonely. So get that controlled chaos mindset in, and get that control freak mindset the fuck out of there. And that's all I got for you. With that being said, have an amazing day. Thank you guys very much for tuning in and listening. Once again, if you need a little boost, or if you need some health in your life, my company, Jake Shakes, we're getting it going. It's doing extremely well. Thank you to everybody that's bought some, tried some, shouted it out. All that good stuff is a health smoothie that you can take in the morning, you can take at lunch. It has all the necessary vitamins, minerals, fruits, vegetables in your system that you're not normally putting in your system. It'll give you that energy boost. It'll get you off of coffee. It'll help with gut health if you have any inflammation or swollenness in your stomach. It'll push all that shit out, make you feel better, make you do more. Also, what else I'm doing is this stuff, is this life health coaching. A lot of people need it, but there's too much pitter-pattering out there. There's too much bullshit. I want to come with more realism. I want to talk to you about really what's going on with you, figure out ways to tackle it, and then get you into a better mindset. Most of the time, that comes with tough love. I'm not going to be as tough as I am on these. I'm obviously going to break it down. I'm there for you, but I think people need that. So if you're somebody that does need that, get a hold of me. Let me know, and have an amazing day. Have control chaos. Don't be a control freak. And just remember, only person you can control is yourself. Have a good day. Get the fuck out of here. Peace.